2015 was arguably one of the best years for hip-hop thanks to Future dropping back-to-back mixtapes in an infamous run. However, behind the scenes, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. An entire hard drive full of 400 songs was almost completely lost forever due to an unexpected tragedy overseas involving prison sentences in a foreign country, causing one of Future's best friends to sit in jail for 56 long days and nights where very few English words have ever been spoken in history. During this time, Future had to delay all music releases and even attempted to record new music entirely to catch up. So perhaps the infamous run wasn't as easy as we originally thought, but at least a great story and series of classic mixtapes derived from it. On January 13th, Future's friend and cohort DJ Esco finally returned home from an unexpectedly long trip to Dubai, where he and Future traveled there on a business trip, more specifically to perform at the 2014 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, a highly acclaimed event to be attended by countless other A-list celebrities. Neither one of them would forget this
sensational
experience in the United Arab Emirates. He and Future were on a multi-month European tour concluding in Amsterdam, where Esco wanted to celebrate his birthday the only way they knew how. Esco said he wanted to go to a cafe in the red light district, just typical tourist shit. And for those unaware, a cafe in Amsterdam is where you buy weed, and a red light district is where you, if you know, you know. But after the tour ended, Future was scheduled for one last extra performance before heading back to the US. So unbeknownst to DJ Esco, who accompanies Future at all his tour stops, he brought the remaining weed that had yet to be smoked in Amsterdam. Only thing is, the UAE adheres to much different laws pertaining to drug use. In fact, a first-time offender of cannabis possession may be sentenced between 3 months to 1 year of imprisonment in addition to exorbitant fines. And he almost got away with it if it weren't for those meddling kids or security guards at the airport. Because according to Esco, Future and the crew were almost in the clear exiting the airport. I guess the organic material in the 20 to 30 plus suitcases were undetected by the machines. The only reason they were stopped was because one of the cameramen started filming behind the scenes footage of DJ Esco in the airport while pushing everyone's bags. That was allegedly gravely against the rules as well. They forced the cameraman to delete all the footage on the spot and then imposed their power to check the containments of all the bags. But as previously mentioned, Future and everyone else were already up ahead, so Esco and his manager were left entirely alone at the scene. Esco claimed ownership of all the bags to the guards, not thinking anything of the abrupt investigation since there were too many bags to separate, in addition to, at least I would think, protect Future from any legal issues if they were to arise, since he was the breadwinner of the group and there may have been some paraphernalia in one of the bags. After searching all but the last 2 luggages, the security guard finally discovered a bag with approximately 15 grams of marijuana, which the Emirates has a zero tolerance policy for. DJ Esco was quickly rushed into custody and interrogated on the grounds of a potential drug trafficker, along with the government taking possession of all of the luggage. Little did they know at the time, this included Future's hard drive with all the recording sessions and music he has been working on for the last 2 years, his entire livelihood. They continued to background check Esco, such as his travel history and connections to Dubai, attempting to find a link to a pattern of illegal activity, not realizing the drug was frequently consumed by musical artists in America. There's no judge, no jury, they assign you to a prosecutor, and the prosecutors can do just what he wants, said Esco. Afterwards, they took him to the police station where no one spoke a lick of English. His only ally at this point was the translator, but even he couldn't be trusted because who's to say he's translating exactly what Esco was trying to explain. They gave him a document written entirely in Arabic and demand him to sign it, but once again, he literally has no idea what he's agreeing to, although the translator claimed if he signed it, he would be able to go home soon. The exact date at the time was Thursday, November 19th. DJ Esco already affirmed to Future and the rest of the crew that he would handle the situation. He'd make a couple calls and get bailed out the next morning, right? Little did he know, he'd be stuck in the cell in a sovereign nation with an entirely opposite judicial system than the US for 56 nights. He had no power, no rights, no prospects of getting out anytime soon after trafficking illegal substance into their country, nor could he even communicate with anyone to know what was even going on. After signing the document, the guards told him to grab some extra clothes because you're gonna be here for a couple of days. Long days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, surrounded by citizens of adjacent countries to the UAE. Luckily, one of his prison mates spoke a little bit of English and helped translate the document. It consisted of his court date and the crime Esco was charged with, aka drug trafficking to be exact, except all drugs, no matter the severity, strength, or even amount, were treated the same. For example, a visitor arrested for 1 gram of weed will generally be held to the same sentence as a cocaine dealer shipping kilograms into the country every week. His first appearance in court was in 7 days, which the only purpose of the hearing was to answer one question with yes or no. The prosecutor asked, "Did you bring a drug into this country?" No explanation, no exceptions, just yes or no. Esco was handed another document ordering his appearance 14 days later after saying yes. In the meantime, he was thrown into Dubai jail until then. It apparently took 3 days to reach the US Embassy, basically Esco's only hope for freedom considering America's political and military rank in the world, because the prison guards were unwilling to help, nor could they even if they tried due to the language barrier. Eventually, he got through using the phone directory, to which the embassy responded, "We're gonna have somebody there no later than Tuesday." Esco was just happy to finally be able to speak to somebody in his native language, although he had to admit he was expecting to be able to bail out as soon as they arrived a couple days later. "You guys came to get me, right? So what's the fastest I can get out of here?" he said. "Well, with cases like this, it's probably gonna take 8 weeks. Damn. 56 nights in the cell in a foreign country where he has no rights, no friends, nothing, over a little weed. Not to mention a 2-sided gang war within the prison walls between Arabic and African inmates that Esco was stuck between, technically not belonging to either. He even met a Taliban operative previously captured by the US CIA, unsuccessfully tortured and given back to Afghanistan. Needless to say, the DJ was a bit out of place. Fortunately for him though, the warden of the prison took a liking to Esco, teaching him the ways of Islam and helping his situation overall. Given his leadership role, he was able to call in a favor with the prosecutor, a task the US Embassy and his assigned lawyer failed to do. His lawyer predicted he may be stuck in Dubai jail for another 4 years potentially, due to how rigorous their judicial system is. A week later, Esco was released with a standing ovation from all the inmates. The only thing on his mind now was getting back to work. While incarcerated, DJ Esco claimed that he was in such shock that he couldn't remember any American music, let alone Future's, except for one song in particular that played in his head on repeat, later to become his hit single, March Madness. In fact, on his way back to the US, he finally recovered the hard drive containing all of Future's unreleased catalog, purchased some headphones at the airport, and allegedly strictly listened to that song over and over on the flight. Once he reconnected with Future back home, the two decided to pull together 8 tracks from the recovered hard drive and release it as a mixtape named after the length of DJ Esco's time in Abu Dhabi prison, accompanied by pseudo-Arabic text spelling out 56 nights, obviously in reference to the whole traumatic experience. Although Future cut Esco 2 new songs that he recorded while Esco was still being held prisoner that fit the theme, namely 56 Nights Crazy and Never Gonna Lose. He also recorded a whole new tape in the meantime just in case Esco was held up for the 4 years he and his lawyer once were scared of, famously known as Beast Mode. Esco quickly finished organizing the tape prior to the 2015 South by Southwest Festival without any assistance, and due to its praise as one of Future's best mixtapes yet at this point in time, Future told Esco, "You did that shit by yourself. It's the best mixtape we've ever done and nobody helped you do it. From now on, I want your hands on everything." I'm sure this mixtape, paired with the sacrifice DJ Esco paid for in Dubai, enhanced their friendship forever. But if there's one learning lesson that I took from this story, don't take weed across borders. It might turn out to be a good story, but most likely, you'll never make it out to tell it.